Broadcasting live.
Listen live online 24/7.
24/7. Around the world.
Right here. Right now.
It's 300 Radio.
And you know this, man.
Welcome back to a brand new episode of the Scott Free Morning Show. I am your gracious host himself, L. Scott, and people, it is Friday. So let's get some, I'm gonna try something different. I've been working with these sound effects lately. So this is Friday, people. Let's get the clap on. Yeah, see how we did that? Yeah, so trying to get myself up. It's Friday, y'all. I love Fridays when we do this. Fridays, we made it through another week, people. We made it through another week of this crazy ass world that we live in. And we're not gonna hold up any time today. I got my co-host today, Miss Levy. We're gonna jump into a few topics, get it popping, get everything going. And hopefully, well, let me do a little due diligence before I get into the show. So we're gonna cover a few topics today. We're gonna run a couple of videos today. We're gonna have maybe an hour or two, and we're gonna have a good time. For the people who watch this on 300radio.com, the website is actually down. We're revamping it. Oh man, next week it should be fly as hell. We're finally going balls in, people. We're going to be running commercials. We're going to be running multiple shows. We're going to be going 300radio.com will be 24 hours a day. You'll be able to get your music fixed. You'll be get your podcast fixed. You get all the playbacks from everything, and you get to see this beautiful face over and over and over again. So, but that's going to happen starting next week. Keep your fingers crossed and nothing goes crazy this weekend. So I'm going to be busting ass trying to make sure with the team to make sure that happens. But outside of that, I'm excited, y'all. Y'all just don't even know. The viewership is going up. Social media is starting to grab hold. Someone said to me one time, said, "El, if you really want to make a social media presence, you're going to have to be consistent." And so what I've been working on this year, I said 2025 is going to be a year of consistency for me. So I'm going to make sure that we consistently give you people what you need, what you want. And it's been working, like I said, but I appreciate it. But I'm not going to hold up any more time. Let's go ahead and get into the chill report so we can get Miss Levy here. All right, be right there.
It's time for the chill report.
It's about to go down.
Oh my goodness. This is my favorite part of this show. It's called the Chill Report. Oh, I love it. But the guy who gives the news, they hate to give the news.
Really? For once in your life, just do the fucking news. All right? No. I'm gonna do the fucking news. No. Here is the fucking news.
I don't know why I love that so much, but that here is the fucking news. I love that. I don't know what it is, but anyway, like I said, I'm not gonna hold you guys. Let's get right into the show. Let me get her called up and get the show popping. Let me get this music down. Get that down a little bit. If she gonna answer the phone, that's gonna be the key of everything right now. So, may have lost a little bit. Hold on.
Hello?
Oh, there you go. I was on time and your ass was trying to be late.
About that?
Don't even worry about it. Like I said, I was gonna start early too today because I had to get some stuff out the way as well. How's everything going? Say hi to the people.
Say hey to the people. Hey, people.
I'm gonna tell you the truth, Lovey. You don't realize it, but I was looking at the analytics the other day, just from YouTube alone. A lot of the shorts things that we've been putting up, we had since March, we had 20,000 views. So for just YouTube, which is a big feat. So congratulations.
Are you serious?
So anyways, but yes,
Wow.
yeah, we've been moving. Like I said, it's a lot of work that goes into it. We got a lot more work to do to get everything everywhere, but it's moving right now. But not gonna hold you. Let's go ahead and dive into it. So what subject did you want to cover first? We talked earlier, people. Just want to let y'all know. So which one did you want to dive into? What's on your heart?
I think you're too hard on Martin. Let's talk about Martin.
What do you mean I'm too hard on? I love him. What do you mean?
I think that you think his health is just very, very poor.
It is.
Where I just think that where we meet people and then we don't see them for a while, and then we realize, oh snap, they done got old. The man's 60.
Okay, let's look at it this way. All right. See,
You met him in his 20s.
Yeah, no. I'm not trying. Look, I'm not looking for Martin from Bad Boys in '95. Hell, I'm not looking for Martin from Bad Boys 2 in 2003. I'm not looking for any of that. What I'm saying is, compared to his contemporaries right now, Will, Jamie, Eddie, Martin his health is. You cannot look at that man You cannot look at him and see Martin can't move. Will had to assist him. Did you see that when they was on the Bad Boys press tour? And Will had to basically, come on, Martin, you cannot tell me you cannot see that this man's health is declining. And if you, I mean, like I said, I'm not trying to dog him for it, but it is. It's declining. And I think he's been disingenuous when he said ain't nothing wrong. But we can see it.
No, you're right. Now that I think about it, his contemporaries, Will, Jamie.
Yeah, they all you can see they're getting older,
they're around the same age. Yeah,
you can see they're getting older, but they're not moving. Look, Martin health. When I saw his birthday bash, they had a birthday bash, and I was looking at something online, and they were showing clips from it. Martin had to have basically a banister, this little rod for him to hold on to. So I know that means, now I don't know if it flares up like it come and goes, but every time I see him in interviews, he's slow. And I'm not talking like Damon. We just watched that damn near 3 hour long interview with Damon Wayans. And Damon's 5 years older than him. And Damon doesn't seem as old. So that lets you know something's wrong with his health.
You're right.
You know? But I love him. But I do love the fact that they're bringing back the Vonnie Hill show, even though they're 30 years too damn late. But I'm glad they're doing it.
Listen, Tommy Davidson is so freaking hilarious.
He is.
I cannot wait to see this. And especially with Martin and Kyle B. Evans backing him.
Who's this Kyle B. Evans? Refresh me. Who is this?
He's the Allman guy.
Oh, that's his name. That's his name.
Wrote Martin's show and co-created the Jamie Foxx show.
So he's going to be involved in the Vonnie Hill show too.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I will tell you this. I think it still can be good because, like you said, I still caught Tommy Davidson on interviews. He still has all his senses. He's still hilarious. He's a little older, you can tell it, but wherever they go with it, I'm looking forward to it. Actually.
Yeah, me too.
Well, hopefully he can pull it off. But no, I'm not dogging Martin. I promise you, I'm not dogging Martin. But I did want to say it. So now I did get a chance to catch a little bit of this Al Sharpton thing with this with meeting with Target. And what's funny is, so I always do refreshers before I get online, and I was looking at what he's talked about a few months ago when he was buying vouchers for people to go to Costco and then there. And now, what is his tune? What does he sound like he's saying now about Target?
Oh. Well, the word he used, I believe, was a very constructive meeting, but he has not divulged what made it constructive. He didn't divulge anything about the said meeting, and in my opinion, this shouldn't have been a closed door meeting. Period.
No.
And one of the and then Pastor Jamal Bryant, who was one of the leaders in, pushing this whole, one of the leaders of him pushing the
whole agenda for it. You fine? No, go ahead.
Home and she act like I ain't on the phone.
Yeah,
okay.
I do. That happens to me too.
Okay, sorry about that. He was Pastor Jamal Bryant being one of the leaders who spearheaded this whole boycott. I'm gonna cue him in on what was talked about. No, if he should have been there, number one.
Yeah, if he's one of the people who spearheaded. Actually, he is the one who spearheaded it. So I wouldn't know why he wouldn't be there.
It feels like Sharpton just jumped on the bandwagon, and now he thinks because he had influence in the community at one point that people. That he just, I don't know what he's thinking, but he's going to have a rude awakening because, nah.
Well, I'll say this.
Constructive, no.
The thing that I'll say about it, and I said this last night when you text me and told me about this, I started thinking about it, and it doesn't make sense. It sounds like, to me, this is, and if you give me a second what I mean, and I'll explain what I mean. This is all a game. And I believe it's a game because look at Target. Target is in business. Believe me, they have focus groups. They have people who understands the bottom line when it comes to money. They're not going to do anything that's going to affect their bottom line. So when I say this is theatrical, I say it in this right. Why come out actively and say we killing the program? You could just killed it. You didn't have to broadcast it. You could have just killed it. and moved on. You knew that by doing this was going to have some type of economic backlash. It doesn't make any sense to be verbal. Remember, a bunch of companies are doing this, but only a handful wanted to make it known. And then to have people like Al Sharpton come in and talk to you about it, it's basically almost sounded like Target's nervous now. I'm thinking to myself, they would have known this was going to happen. See, this sounds like I don't want you guys paying attention to other stuff. So let's look at the Target thing, and we're gonna make like this is a big thing, and we're actually. I don't think anything is. I think this is all a play. I think it's a stage. I don't believe this is real.
Well, me personally, my opinion is I think that the bully in chief may be pushing some of these.
You said bully in chief.
Yeah, I think, he may be pushing some of these companies to be public about their decision, or
You think so?
maybe the shareholders. I don't know. I do think that even if what you're saying is correct,
Mm-hmm.
it could be a situation where they did not expect this level.
It doesn't make sense, but that doesn't make sense. See, so you're talking about when it comes to protesting and causing an uproar. I'll give you an example why you don't come at black people. Everyone knows Black Americans. If you come at them in a certain way, it's going to be it's going to be unrest throughout the nation. You ever notice the only time that unrest happens is dealing with the police, because these are like in the moment. I don't believe there are planned things when they happen. So you've been around, but this was planned. You planned to do this. You knew backlash was coming. And you did not have to say it out loud. So it doesn't make sense for you to say it out loud and then turn around and say, hey, let me try to fix it.
There are people who, and a lot of times, people, you said it yourself when we talked about this before, we can't never seem to get these financial boycotts off the ground. Maybe they didn't expect it to be as bad as it ended up being, because it wasn't just black people boycotting, like the country boycott, and they may not have been expecting that.
Well,
all I'm saying is this.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
All I'm saying is, I think that they were forced by like I said, the bully in chief.
Mm-hmm.
And just like he's currently bullying Harvard University.
Yeah.
And,
what did he say about Harvard? I caught some, but I didn't catch it all.
So basically, he told Harvard University, cut your DEI program. He wants them to cut their DEI program. They want them to fire DEI professors, hire other professors. And it was a lot to it, but basically Harvard said, no, we're not going to do that.
Right.
He comes back with, you either do it or you're going to lose billions of dollars in federal funding that we send to Harvard. And
so let me see.
They just not giving in. Now, will they eventually? I don't know, but yeah, that's where they're at.
So let me see this. I want to look at somewhere you said that. Get from the government. So I'm looking at, I want to Google how much money does Harvard get from the government, right? So I want to know.
I didn't want to say the total because I can't be 100% sure if I'm remembering it correctly, but I want to say 2.2 billion is what they said. But I'm not 100% sure.
Well, I'll look into that because that's going to take time. But the reason why, it just, to me, it's a lot of this doesn't make sense. A lot of this seems like goalpost moving. Now, something to you that actually you could probably come at me about is that, did you catch that Doge basically had originally said it was going to be over $1 trillion that they found, and now he scaled it back to it's going to be closer to 1.5 billion, I think, that they found money that's just been misused. That's a big discrepancy between 1 trillion and 1 billion. You know what I'm saying?
And not only what do you find it odd that Congress keeps asking for him and Doge to come before Congress and explain and where this Lord, brain fog, where this discrepancy is coming from.
Right.
Like what show us this proof. Show us proof of what you're talking about.
I agree.
And as of today, they have not done so. And what's really ticking me off is I just heard last night, Elon, I don't know if they said that they are no longer going to contact like people on Social Security or disability or SSI anymore on the website. You literally, to get updates about your Social Security, you have to go and register on Twitter.
On Twitter? Wow.
Yeah, that's where you're going to get your information from as far as your Social Security. Then
Well, go ahead.
I just saw last night where, and you know my situation, so you know why I know a lot about this, but they are switching how you get your information, like your benefits and your Social Security card and all this stuff. Like you set up an account with them.
Right.
They're switching it over. And if you don't switch over, you will no longer get your money. But they haven't made an announcement about it.
That's how they get you. Yeah.
And so people are going to lose out on their money because they're not doing same thing what he did with those federal workers. You got fired over the weekend on a Friday afternoon.
Take care of it.
Email saying you got to tell me what you did last week or you're fired.
Well, let me ask you.
People.
Let me ask you a question, because I like I said, I always tell you, for me, because I know it comes off like I'm a Republican. I'm not a Republican at all. I don't support Trump. I don't support Republic. I don't support politics at all, because I've been watching for 250 years of this nation being in existence. Politics has always looked out for itself and not the people. So I'm not a fan of any politician, any politics. It seems like status quo is happening to me. Now, the one thing I will go ahead. You say I know you think that it's the boogeyman's happening. I get that No,
the boogeyman is happening.
I know.
The boogeyman is here.
No, but what I'm saying is that we argue about that because the boogeyman didn't start 3 months ago. We've been boogeyman for the last 5 years. And what I'm saying is, but it's only now becoming a daily thing to where we're watching everything. If I tell you, we wasn't doing this podcast, but if I tell you every time I saw the money that was going here, the money that was going there, the stuff that was happening actively for the last 5 years, and how we lost. Lev, do you realize in the last 5 years was the first time in the inception of this nation, it's been since black people have been able to basically out of slavery, then the last 5 years was the first time we didn't generate more wealth the next year. We've actually lost wealth since COVID happened in black community. So what I'm saying is to me is that when I'm watching is, I've been telling people around me for the last 3 years, it's going to get worse next year. It's going to get worse the year after. It's going to get worse. It's going to continue to get worse, because how else are we going to get to zero wealth by 2050? And how are we going to be with no homes by 2030? This has to happen. They told us this 10 years ago. This was happening. And I think that people now say,
now it's here.
Yes, but what I'm saying is, 10 years ago, this had nothing to do with just the boogeyman guy that's in the office. All of them is on this. This is the plan. So what I'm saying this for people is, I think people are arguing about, because I think most people think once we get the Republicans out of office, we'll be cool again. No, this is the plan.
That's not what I'm saying.
Not saying you are.
That's not what I believe at all.
I
don't believe that at all.
What
I believe is, but to say that the things that are happening, let me tell you what I saw.
Okay.
I saw a video of ICE pick up what looked to be a 10 or 11-year-old girl walking to school in a pink Winnie the Pooh sweatshirt.
Okay. And
they rolled up on her and they put her in handcuffs and they took her away off the street.
Can I say something? Can I say something to you?
Wait.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead. I thought that was your point.
Okay.
Go ahead.
No. And the things that are happening now, I don't know. I don't know quite what your point is. What I hear you say, and you correct me if I'm wrong,
okay,
is that the things that are happening now, right-wing militant groups riding around the border of Texas, breaking into people's cars and detaining them illegally, that ain't even a service, like they're not ICE, they're not police, they're just a right-wing military,
like a militia group. I got you. Right, got you.
Like, if you're telling me this type of stuff has been happening all along, I just don't. I don't.
Well,
don't
I
think.
don't know where you've been, because I'm going to tell you that just the situation you said about the little girl who got scooped up. First and foremost, Obama deported more illegal immigrants than any other president in history, correct?
I heard that.
Okay, so in that situation, what you didn't see was anybody getting picked up. You just heard about it. See, what they want to do with Americans, and they love to do this with humans, because they know humans by nature, especially black humans, we have a bit of morality about us. So what they like to do is they like to personalize it. So by showing you that little girl in the Winnie the Pooh outfit, it stayed and resonated with you. That was the objective. Now, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, they didn't care for you to see all of that. And so that's why they didn't show it to you. So what I'm saying is that everything that you see in this country isn't just happening. It's just getting more highlighted. It happens every day. Do you think that cops are not shooting black people every day, arresting them illegally every day? They do this all the time. It's just only certain things get highlighted. And I'm just saying,
Okay.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't cut that.
No, go ahead.
I will say this then. Let's say the boogeyman has been here.
Yes,
right?
I think so. Yes.
Not just in 2025. The boogeyman has been here, right?
Right.
He's still here though. Now that people are seeing it, for whatever reason, they are allowing us to see it now versus not allowing us to see it before.
No.
Still here.
But see, that's the difference. They were showing it to you 2022, 2023, 2024, 2021. They showed you all those years. You didn't care, not you personally, but people didn't care to see it because they're party lines. They put us on party lines. So like classic example.
I thought you said they were doing it, but they didn't show you.
No. What I mean is like classic example. Their highlight, the border was being overrun by thousands to millions of people for 4 years. They did not talk about it. I remember they were asking politicians that were Democratic, why do you think it's okay to drop illegal immigrants in black neighborhoods? And I've watched multiple black politicians that were Democrats say, I don't know what you're talking about. So what you mean is you didn't want to talk about it then, but now that he's in office and he's removing people, let's highlight this. This has been a problem for years for us. And so now what I'm saying is it's always a problem. This is what I believe is happening. This is a script that has been given out to the world. And one of my favorite philosophers, Krishnamurti, he said this all the time. He said, the world's a stage and we're all just unwilling or unknowing participants in it. So what I mean when I say that is this. When Joe Biden came into office, Joe Biden, here's your script. Go out there, do your job. Now, your job is going to lead into Donald Trump's job. He's going to do this. He's going to do this. Boom, great. Now, in 2028, we're going to do this, and then this is going to happen. Great, boom. And then everybody's in on it, and all us people, the everyday person, we're just following the script that they're making us be on, but we do not know that it's happening. That's all that I'm saying. That's why I don't get so out of pocket when I have certain presidents, because it's always consistently happening. You just have to be protecting yourself and preparing yourself at all times. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, that's fair. I'm not disagreeing with that. And a lot of people eyes are being opened. You're seeing a lot of talk pieces from. I'm listening to a lot of talk pieces from economists.
Right.
Professors, history, they're breaking down what is happening.
Uh-huh.
And so people, what I feel like the difference is they have not been able to fully control the narrative like they have in the past. I think that's what the whole TikTok ban was for. It was to help control the narrative. If they're the ones who are the powers that be that own the media, then they own the narrative. They can control the narrative.
I agree with that.
So people's eyes are starting to open, and I think, and I still say this, even though I think it's you. How do I put this? I am no fan of the person in office right now.
Right.
But I feel like something like that needed to happen.
I agree.
Wake everybody up.
Now you talking my language. I agree. See, this is my thing. I have no problem with people getting wiser about what's going on. My only issue is that are we getting wiser or are we just on party lines? Now, if we're not just sitting on party lines, you got my full attention. I'm with you. Because really, to be honest with you, I look at the world like this. We're losing because we will not rock the boat. Did you catch that pastor down in Atlanta that was basically saying that we need more model citizens in our culture? Black people need to be more model citizens. Did you catch that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when he speaks, see, this is the problem. This is the problem. See, that mindset is what's been killing us. Because remember, slavery was a law at one point. And so when you broke that law by running, he was calling those same people wrong. See, laws have no morality to them. So I don't understand why when people make those statements, you're causing more pain for us more than anything else. Because we know that the people that are here to police us don't care for us. So I just supposed to comply to your shitty ways of it? No, you're just trying to put me backwards. That's a mindset we cannot adopt in black society. We cannot have that. We will lose that.
Well, he got ate up.
He should have.
So
He should have.
definitely got ate up. That one.
Well, and see, I keep saying this. We never touch on it because I try to stay away from it. But it's because I'm telling you, everybody who looks like you isn't the same as you. I say this all the time. White supremacy doesn't mean white people. Because there are good white people. White supremacy means that there are people who are here to keep a certain agenda in play, and they will use black people, Indian people, Mexican people, East Indian people as mascots in white supremacy. And most people go for it. And he's a mascot and don't even realize it.
You know how it and I know you said it's not getting bad, but I do still believe it's a little extra than normal. But anytime Candace Owens ready to jump ship.
Well, Candace, I'm gonna say this about Candace Owens. Candace Owens, to me, I have to put her in the box somewhat with the DLs and the Chris Rocks like we're talking about. And the reason why I do that with Candace is a very intelligent woman. Candace Owens, when she was in college, she sued for racism and won. But now no racism exists. That's because she's all underneath white daddy at this point. When white daddy say move, she moves. But she also understands what the fuck is going on, because I even hear her say this all the time. She will not disparage anyone from the Caribbean because she's Caribbean. But she don't have no problem denigrating black folks. So that's why I say that, to me, I don't rock with her either. Even though I think she's a very intelligent woman. I think Candace, that expose she did on, what you want me to say her name right? Kamala Harris, is it right? Kamala?
Yeah.
Okay, when she did an expose on Kamala Harris, and then no news cycle picked that up, let you know how the news really feels, because nobody picked that up. And that woman broke that woman's whole history down and how she was lying to us the entire time. Did you even see it? I bet you didn't even see it.
No.
When I tell you with receipts and facts, Candace broke down every lie that Kamala Harris was sitting in front of us telling. And so for me, that lets me know she knows exactly what she's doing.
I'm not saying that everything that Candace Owens has ever said I disagreed with, but I've seen her say things, horrific things.
Oh yes. You mean like George Floyd was killed by fentanyl and not a knee to his neck? She said that stupid shit.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. That you, like you just said, she's intelligent enough to know that that's crap.
Yeah,
You know
she knows
so
it's bullshit.
She has to feed to her base.
Yeah.
And so she has to say stuff like that, and it's damaging.
And she doesn't realize it, but what I hate to say this because I'm going to go ahead. I don't know if you know this, but I feel like I'm semi-psychic. I'm joking, but I'm going to tell you, I can see the future for Candace Owens. You know what's going to happen to her, don't you?
What you think?
Candace is going to suffer a feat that even the P. Diddy's and the R. Kellys of the world don't suffer. They're going to get her. And it's only going to be because of one thing. Did you see when she challenged that rabbi, that Jewish rabbi? And when she challenged him, Candace Owens, this is when they kicked her off the Daily Mail. What's it called? The Daily Mail when she was working. Remember, the company she was working for up until she started doing her own thing was a Jewish ring company. And she had a debate with a rabbi. And I'm not going to lie. She told the truth and got in trouble for it. And they got rid of her. I'm trying to tell you, once you come after them peoples, woo, you know it's only a matter of time. They just waiting for her to slip up, and they coming for her, and they gonna throw her all kinds of ways. And I hate that for her. because she told the truth. And the reason why I know it's going to happen to her, the same reason why it's happening to Diddy right now. When you don't have a base, and she don't have a base, she pissed off her base, which was white males. You pissed them off. You can't come back to black society, which she tried to do. She tried to pull that Omarosa when she got fired. And black folks just said, no, bitch, you can't sit there and dog us and think we're going to be cool with you. It's not going to happen like that.
The Omarosa and the Stacey Dash.
Yes.
Yeah.
You see, what's so funny about what trips me out about Coons and Tethers that makes no sense to me is that, and one of the guys I listen to online says it all the time, white supremacy will use black people as tools. But one thing they will do when your tool is no longer effective, they break their tools. And that's why Diddy was a tool. They broke him. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. They're gonna break you. And Al Sharpton. They're gonna break him too. I would tell him just get off the scene like Jesse Jackson did and just go away. Because if you don't, they're gonna come for you.
He's just unfortunately his time. I don't know how to put this. The way he went about this whole thing with Target, regardless of whether you believe it was the whole DI Target and all that was a ploy or a scam or whatever.
Right.
He took advantage of it.
He did.
Okay.
He does.
For himself.
He did. He always does that though.
You know he greases his pockets.
Yes.
And what you gonna contribute to my nonprofit?
Okay, I'm gonna tell you.
Tell everybody to.
I'm going to tell you, I'm going to put a group of guys together. They all fit in this one box that you cannot trust them solely off of their actions. Steve Harvey, Stephen A. Smith, Roland Martin, Al Sharpton. These guys will move and say whatever white folks need for them to say so they can get paid. We've all seen it, and they're all ineffective. I heard Stephen A. Smith say recently, I might as well run for president. You just might as well be trying to get some paychecks because you ain't getting in no fucking office. Ain't nobody voting for you. I mean, come on, be delusional. The delusion is crazy with this nigga.
His ego, like this man literally thought, he made a statement basically implying that once LeBron James is retired, that
I heard
he can affect his legacy because he's not going to talk about him. Boy, please.
I would love I'm going to tell you who I blame for Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith is a problem solely because of the players, and I'm going to tell you why. Let me be an NFL, NBA player, and this nigga got slick shit to say. He can't talk to me. He can't talk to nobody around me. He gets no respect from me. When anybody asks me about him, I'm going to say some disrespectful shit, and everybody should say about him. Because all he's there to do is to make you look bad. When I saw how much money he affects with players, I was like, this nigga needs to go. He's a problem. See, sometimes I just don't even care. Just people, like Jason Whitlock, he's ineffective. But Stephen A. Smith will use his words to lower contracts. And that's my problem with him. And he knows he's doing it, but then turn around whenever somebody get in his face. Hey man, I'm just trying to do my job, man. I'm just doing my job. That's all I'm doing.
That irks me so bad.
Me too. Me too.
Like you take Skip Bayless, and he would attack people's character, not just
all the time,
but just attack them, and come up. I think he referred to Chris Bosh as Chrissy.
Yeah, well, he called him Chris. What did he call? He called Chris Bosh names, LeBron names, Russell Westbrook. All kinds of names.
And then when Jalen Rose dug into him, he won't play victim.
Yeah. Well, see, let me give you an example. I'm going to tell you something that pisses me off about players. And this is players and sports people. Like recently, you may not never get it, but Gilbert Arenas has a really popular podcast he does with Rashad McCants, used to play for Carolina. Kenyon Martin used to play in the NBA. And Kenyon Martin on his show recently brought up two black guys who do like a sports podcast. They're not known, but they was critiquing things that they did on that podcast. When I saw Kenyon Martin disrespect these guys because they didn't play in the league, he basically, these two little nobodies, they ain't got nobody followings and stuff like that. And he's dogging them. He's like, you can't talk about us. You ain't never played at this level. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I'm sorry. Y'all let Stephen A. Smith, y'all let Skip Bayless, y'all let Windhorst, and every other one of them people on ESPN who ain't never touched the rock like that talk about y'all, and y'all respect them. So you're going to dog black men who are trying to do something for themselves. They don't realize those new podcasts are the reason why ESPN is dying. People don't want to hear white people's opinion on black players no more. They want to hear from the players. And so I would say to
They want
them,
to hear from the players,
yeah, I don't want to hear from and Kenya Moore. Stop disrespecting people just because they ain't got a name for themselves. How do you think they're supposed to get one? It just makes no sense to me. But I digress.
Yeah. Well,
really quick, I ain't gonna hold you much
got
longer.
me too much longer.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I got
too much longer. What else you want to talk about?
I don't want to talk about anything in particular, but I do want to say this to you. So moving into next week, I started thinking about this, right? And I want to dive more into this. Like in front of me right now, I have a list of questions that people give me that they want me to talk about that I would love to do with you. Like one of them, I tell you the one out the gate. Is it acceptable to cheat on your partner? That's one. Do I think so? What's my thoughts on relationships with coworkers? That's another one. I got one. Do you think people in relationships should share bank accounts? These are things that I would love to get into more personal, everyday things versus all politicals, because otherwise we just gonna come off like a political space.
See, political is you.
That's me.
Now,
It is.
These questions here that you just presented,
Right.
see, that's my forte.
Okay.
I got opinions for days.
Okay, well, like that's what I want to dive into starting next week. I got like 15 of them out the gate. So the next show we do, I'll save them for you. We'll go through these. These are really good questions that and about relationships. Okay, cool beans.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I have opinions already, so I can't wait to talk to you tomorrow. Next week.
And the last thing I'll say to you, we're gonna have to cover this. We can wait till Monday, but I want to cover this before it gets too out of pocket. Did you catch that Latasha Scott from Escape interview when she sat down with what's her name? What's her name from Housewives? Nene Leakes, and she basically gonna talk shit about her sister not supporting her when she left the group. And I watched that little reality show they did when she got kicked out the group. And I'm sorry, you are a horrible individual, but we can get into it another time. I'm not gonna dump into it now.
Oh yeah, because that to me that was narcissism behavior.
Oh man, woo! What you talking about? All right, well I'm gonna let you go. I know you say you have a short period of time. I'm not gonna deal. It's Friday today. I ain't gonna be sitting here with these people all day long. Anyway.
Well, I will hear y'all and check you out next week.
All right, sugar. I'll call you later.
All right.
All right, peace. That was Miss Lovett. Oh Lord, you know what? I was so excited on a Friday. You know what y'all didn't let me do today? Let me get my music turned up a little bit. Y'all didn't allow me to go ahead and tell her. I mean, I didn't put her on the screen. Y'all didn't even let me put her on the screen. Y'all didn't even know she was up here, but she did. I tried my best to work her in on the playback and everything. But yeah, so we're gonna take a quick music break, jump back into this thing, and then we're gonna get back into the rest of the show. All right. So give me a second. Yeah, give me a second. I'm gonna go right into the video. Let's go.
We've got old school.
Old school.
And we've got new school.
Always plays the new music first right here.
It's 300 Radio.
Hey 300 family, it's your man DJ Rick Grimes, and I'm ready to give you that afternoon ride. Join me every afternoon from 12 to 3, Monday through Fridays, right here on 300radio.com.
Stupid thing. I don't know why they want to do it today, but it's doing its own thing today. But sorry about that, guys. But we're back. Like I said, I'm not gonna hold you guys for so much longer today. But yeah, interesting conversation. Me and Miss Love was all over the place with that one. But just to recap what we talked about, we talked a little bit about Al Sharpton meeting with Target. What people don't realize is that, like, I'll give you an example. These people, these politicians will say anything. So please stop getting behind them. I every time I watch a video of Al Sharpton or someone that's protesting or something, they always like to get people to stand behind them. It's almost like saying we support it. You ever notice that, like, I'll give you a class example. You ever notice that when a president is doing with something that has to deal with black society, that's very racial, but something we don't agree with, they like to put other black people behind them, like we support that. No, that is just visuals that they want us to see. But we all know Al Sharpton ain't about shit. And most of them are not. I'll give you an example about Obama. Somebody posted online recently the Democratic primary debate from 2008 when he won his first term. And they were discussing immigration policy. And when I tell you this man was talking about get rid of them illegals, you don't come in this nation this way, this, then the third. And then to fast forward to the last presidential cycle, to hear how he basically tried to chastise us for not being in support of it lets you know these people are not your friend. And I don't want to hear that whole thing about people change their minds over time and they have a right to evolve. You're right. But I would then ask him the question, okay, he evolved. He evolved into caring more about immigration. What changed? See, most of the time when we make statements like that we've changed our opinions about life, something happened, something made us feel this way. Give a class example. And I've seen racist people who said my whole existence was about shitting on another culture, but then I had I'll give you one even great. Remember the movie American History X that had Guy Torry and I can't think of the white guy's name. Now, I'm not a huge fan of white savior movies or changing white people's mindset. But for the context of the conversation I'm having, this is what I mean. You stick this racist Nazi inside of a prison system where the black guy has to work with them hands-on for years to the point to where he changes his opinion not only about black people, but about how he thinks and moves as a person. Now, that makes sense. He had something happen. But way our politicians do it, he went from being a Nazi and he said, I don't want to be a Nazi no more. No, it doesn't work that way. And if you want us to respect your opinion on you moving like that, you have to give us a reason why. That's just my personal opinion. So that's why I say for those politicians, please stay away from those people. These are not nice people. They will not do right by you at all. Another thing she brought up was Martin's health and how I be getting on him. I am not here to dog Martin Lawrence's health. I love that man as an actor, as a comedian. I did stand-up comedy for almost 10 years, and he was the reason I got into it. Let me tell you a quick story. So I'm ready to age myself, but I won't do it. But I was watching You So Crazy when I was younger, and maybe 12 or 13 when I saw it, and I was amazed, blown away. I've always had a sense of humor. I've always had a way to be able to communicate with others, but to me, to stand in front of a stage to do stand-up comedy, these guys were amazing. Because in my little 12-year-old mind, these guys were just standing up there talking, and they was coming up with this in the moment. I didn't know that these guys, they practiced this stuff. They worked it out. But his ability to work the crowd, his ability to just be himself and tell those jokes, it was amazing to me. Everybody else at that time was talking about like Eddie Murphy's Raw or Delirious, Chris Rock's I Came to Bring the Pain, or those types of, You So Crazy, man. You So Crazy was amazing. Then to turn around maybe 10 years later and to do, Run Tell That, and that was amazing. And it's so bad that we didn't get more stand-up specials for him. Because he is amazing. And to say all this to say this, when I'm talking about Martin's health, it isn't in a disparaging way. It is honestly, my heart's broken for him. My heart's broken for Martin because you know that Father Time doesn't care about anybody. And then the way this world works, the way the environment works, a lot of us are just not healthy. And I'm not here to dog him at all. I think I bring him up so much is because when you respect and admire someone, to see them basically going through it, it's hard to watch. And he was my childhood. So, but that's the only reason why. And I don't, like I said, not here to blame him, love him to death. I do think, however, the Von Hill show is a little bit too late. They should have came sooner than what is coming now. Can't wait to see it, but it definitely should have came sooner than what is coming now. But anyways, I digress. I'm not going to beat that up too bad and talk too much about that one. That's what I wanted to say. If you did catch it too, you noticed that I talked to Ms. Lovey right up before commercial break about getting more into personal conversations. Personal conversations about maybe my life, how I view life, and more or less political conversation, because we do a lot of political commentary that we don't have to do. So moving forward, starting on Monday, you're going to get more relationship questions. Send your questions in to me as well, and I'll answer as many as I possibly can. We are moving as a channel, and I'm loving it to death. It's becoming along very, very good. So from that being said, I'm loving it. That being said, I'm going to go right back into a commercial break one more second so I can handle something. And when I come back, we'll close out the show. So give me a second, guys, and I will be right back.
We've got old school.
Old school.
Uh-oh. And we've got new school.
Always plays the new music first right here.
It's 300 Radio.
All right, guys, we are back. We are back. Man, I love that song. Try Loving Me. Look, I think I played it yesterday on the show as well. But what it is, man, you ever know every so often in a generation there are music that comes out that you may not even know the artist like that. This dude Anthony Q is dope, though. I play a bunch of his songs lately. But you have songs that come out and they resonate with you. And those are one of those songs. Something else, quiet enough before I get out of here, I want to tell you guys, are y'all just like me that even though you know the words to a song, it's really mostly in your subconscious that you really don't know it? Like I'll give you an example. Go take a song that you know, like the back of your hand. Maybe not one that you know word for word, but you know if it come on, you can hum it. You can sing a lot of the word. Stop and go play that song, and then but really pay attention to each one of the words. You're gonna find it's like listening to all new music again. The other night I was just driving. I had to take a drive back to Atlanta. I was out of town to make a quick trip. And as I was coming home, I just threw on some Jamie Foxx, that 2005 Unpredictable album, and then I went to the next one that had Love Bring Change stuff on. I went played them, and I'm telling you, when I tell you, those lyrics are powerful. I would just tell people, if I was in love and my heart was broken, I would not listen to Jamie Foxx. His music will break you when it's like that. And I feel that same way about that Anthony Q Try Loving Me song. It's a beautiful song. So yeah, I'm a softie. Don't worry about me. But yeah, no, that was today's show. Like I said, we didn't do it too heavy today. Really didn't talk about much of anything. We are almost at an hour for the show, and we didn't cover anything today. I had stuff I wanted to cover. I had a couple things queued up, like Tracy Ellis Ross sat down with Michelle Obama's podcast to talk about how she only dates younger men and that she doesn't date men her own age because of the high level of toxicity that we have in her age group. And I think if she's not 50, she's pushing 50. And for one, I've always wanted to know, what does that mean, toxic masculinity? What does that even mean? Nobody really has a definition. You ever notice that people who said it's like you can say it in 80,000 different ways? No one really knows. And then to say, but you only date younger men. I don't know who more toxic, because I'm gonna be honest with you. The younger that you go in the day generation, and I'm stopping at adult age. I'm not talking about children. But the younger you go as adult age, these are not men. These are children. These are boys. A lot of them raised by single mothers, things like that. And I'm not trying to dog them. I'm just saying that, but you're talking about toxic masculinity. What is toxic about a man? Look, that's like saying you're a toxic feminist. Now, femininity, if you're talking about being feminine, there's no way you can be toxic. Now, a feminist, you can be toxic, but femininity is not a thing. Like, there is no thing that says, I'm a masculist. Or what's the word for it? If she's a feminist, for femininity, I can't even think that. But there's no word for masculinity when it comes to a group like you do with feminists. No, you just have feminine females. And you can't be too feminine. What the kind of shit is that? Dainty is a thing men love. We love a feminine woman, a woman who's soft. And then too, I'm going to tell you, being feminine doesn't mean weak. I need for people to stop making it synonymous with weak. And like being masculine isn't toxic. If your man whooping your ass, that ain't got nothing to do with his masculinity. That nigga's whooping your ass. You need to get away from him. I'm masculine, baby. I'm a man. I'm masculine as hell. I ain't toxic. Do I beat my chest at times? Yes, you're going to need me to beat my chest. Best believe. If a war comes to the group, you're going to want me to bust my damn chest and beat my damn chest. This whole thing about saying we're toxic because we act in our nature makes no sense. But then it also makes sense why certain these people are still on TV. You notice you never hear a person come out and say things real positive about loving being black or loving on black males or even the black men loving black women and we're just going to love on each other. Do they ever get any love on TV? Nope. No. It's only the interracial person. It's the person who wants to date outside their race and talk about kumbaya. They want to prioritize those people, which makes no earthly sense. Do you know if you are prioritizing other groups over your own, you will always lose? Because at the end of the day, if everything falls apart in your relationship, they can go back to their culture. You can't come back to yours. But I digress. I ain't gonna go on no long spiel about that. I was ready to go off on it. But when I saw that, I was gonna talk about it with Miss Lovett, but it just, my co-host, but it just didn't come together, and that just didn't make sense to me. And matter of fact, it was funny because seeing that was gonna lead into another topic that I saw. I saw this guy. He was sitting down with the Fresh and Fit boys. Now, disclaimer. This platform have no affiliation, no desire to have an affiliation, or even support anything they do over Fresh and Fit. That's not the lane that we run in over here. And I watched this guy basically, I think it was an East Indian dude or something, but he was basically didn't understand why men like those promote dating outside your race. That doesn't make any sense. Now, do we have toxicity when it comes to some black women in our culture? Of course. We have toxic men, yes. But can you tell me anywhere, any platform, any news station, anywhere that you hear white people saying that white men say, I'm not dating no other white women? And do you have white women say, oh, I don't date nothing but niggas. I don't date no other white men. You don't hear that. And if you do hear that, it's one person. But I am so collectively tired of hearing people telling me why it's okay to date outside your race, why it's important to date other people. These are people who don't like themselves. I love black women. To me, they are the greatest species on earth. But that's how it's supposed to be. To a white man, a white woman is supposed to be the greatest species on earth. The black woman is God to me. I protect them at all costs. Even if you ain't mine, I will protect you at all costs. Because it is part of my culture. This is the code of my culture. Is we protect our women. And anyone telling you that you don't have to do that ain't part of this culture. That's all I'm saying. And I need for black women, if you are part of this culture with me, you protect black men at all costs. Now, if you with your black man, he fucking up, talk shit to his ass. But you will not see me on here dogging black women, or you will not see me dogging black men. I am a black family advocate. So my thing is, I want us to thrive as a couple. I want us to thrive as a group. And we can't do that if we always at odds. So these platforms and things like that, they're prioritized because they keep dissension amongst us. That's my opinion. So no, I don't affiliate with those people. But I watched this East Indian guy dog miring them out from Fresh and Fit, telling them basically that makes no sense to promote that. And it doesn't. It makes none whatsoever. It makes me think that somebody's in controlling that for some reason. And if you don't believe me that it's a priority to date outside your race, I'm going to give you a few examples, and I'm going to get out of here. Family, you're going to be hard pressed to turn on the TV and catch a commercial, a TV show, a movie, any platform to where they're going to prioritize black men and black women being together on screen. Most movies will prioritize the LGBT community on screen when it comes to black people, and they love to make us date outside our race on screen. But remember back in the day during segregation, because this is what people say segregation, but I'm gonna say the 90s was like segregation. When you were in the 90s, even if you were on a white show and you were a black actor, and they needed to get you say if you were a male actor on the show and they need to get you a female to be on the show, they went and found a black woman to be that. They removed that now. Now it's almost like it's revolutionary if you have a black couple, just a normal black couple on TV. Think of all the movies that come out. All the movies that come out now, either going to have that black person with someone of another race, or that black person, if they are with the same race, it's going to be of the same sex. So to me, people say, well, people have their life choices, they can do it. You're right. They can do whatever they want to do. But it does not make sense that we do not see, economically, it does not make sense that we do not see black couples on screen anymore. It doesn't. It does not make sense. If 84 to 85% of black people who are married to another black person, that means that we love each other and we want to see the imagery of that. But the dominant society said, no, the fuck, you ain't gonna see that. You're gonna see everything but that. And so for me, that was the first tick when I started seeing that maybe 10, 15 years ago. I said, oh, we're heading down a bad path, people. We're gonna be fighting each other tooth and nail if this keeps up. And it's true. So I would just employ people, if you're going to put content on, write something that's going to big up the black family. We can't keep producing. Now, I get it. Some people are LGBT. I get it. Some people like the interracial. I get it. But how is our culture going to survive? The majority of us have to be together. Let those outliers do their thing. All right? You love it. You hate it. You like it. I love it. But I'm going to need them to do their thing. But we need to basically big that up. So if you're building content out there, whether it's online, in the movies, television, wherever the platform is that you're doing it, make sure you are prioritizing seeing black people together. Black love has to become the focal point of this. That is the greatest threat to everyone, is our love for one another. So with that one, I'll leave it there. I could have kept going. Trust me. I love me some black folks. But I'll leave it there. I appreciate you guys for showing up. This was a good week, guys. We had a really good week. We did good numbers this week. We were able to do content this week. We were able to navigate some of the pitfalls that I normally been falling victim to on here. And I appreciate you guys. All right. Onward and upward from here. I don't know if that even came out right. But other than that, I'll catch you guys on Monday. We're going to dive right back into this thing. I'm going to get my hair done so I can be cute again. This has been a rough hair week. Look at this. I'm been a rough hair week. Get my hair redone, get my braids back out. But anyways, love you guys. Scott Free Morning Show. Catch you on the next one. Peace.
Whoa. Before you leave this podcast and go somewhere else, did you hit the notification bell? Because if you didn't, please do so now. And I'm talking to the people who've already subscribed. But if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do that as well. Hit the like button, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.